From the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C., this is Newsvision, a newscast written, reported, and produced by capstone journalists in the Department of Media, Journalism, and Film.
The mortality rate in Black women has been an issue all over the world, but one age-old tradition could help change that.
The cannabis industry is growing and becoming a cash crop for some more than others.
And Howard's very own Taraji P. Henson talks about one of her latest movies and how the Mecca helped make her star rise.
Hello and welcome to this Newsvision newscast. I'm Bryce Newby.
And I'm Noni Marshall. Newsvision is the capstone course for broadcast journalism in the Department of Media, Journalism, and Film at Howard University.
We're bringing you all of the latest stories from Howard University, the surrounding community, and the nation, which we have written, reported, and produced during the spring 2019 semester.
In this newscast, we will be covering issues impacting the African American community, such as healthcare.
Black women have the highest maternal mortality rate in America and are 4 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women.
Many women are now turning to a centuries-old tradition in an effort to change these alarming statistics. Newsvision's Camila Tom has the story.
She actually stitched me up with the placenta still inside. Oh yeah, I just remember feeling this excruciating pain.
When it comes to giving birth, Black women like Stephanie Bryant have had decades of traumatic experiences. Black women are at a higher risk for pregnancy-related complications and are 243% more likely to die from childbirth than white women.
Her quick actions could have been deadly on my part. A lot of things that I did experience during that time really deterred me from wanting to experience seeing my birth in that manner again.
And Stephanie isn't alone. Because of many birthing experiences like these, many Black women have chosen an alternative route, like hiring a doula, to ensure a safer and personalized experience outside of a hospital.
Doula is, in Greek terminology, a women's servant, one who provides support morally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and physically.
Studies have found that mothers who were assisted by doulas were less likely to deliver babies with birth complications and less likely to have cesarean births.
I highly recommend that women choose to have a doula there during birth. It really eased the pain. Not just the physical pain, but the mental pain that I was going through. Because for a minute, I wanted to give up, but I knew I had came too close to it.
For Newsvision, I am Camila Tom.
In addition to helping mothers with childbirth and postpartum, Black doulas also offer what they call full spectrum services that help women with a wide range of services, even adoption.
There's another DC organization helping Black women combat the issues they face during and after childbirth. The nonprofit organization Mama Toto Village works with women to provide important classes like breastfeeding and mental health. The classes are offered to mothers from the beginning of their pregnancies to the end, giving full support to both mothers and moms-to-be.
Support or perinatal and antepartum support to women in the District of Columbia. A majority of the women that work with us are Medicaid recipients, living in some of DC's most underserved areas. However, anybody can access our program, but a majority of the folks we serve.
According to its website, Mama Toto Village also helps create career pathways for women of color in the field of public health and human services.
The abortion debate is one of the most controversial issues facing the country. On the 46th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion, the state of New York passed the Reproductive Health Act, one of the strongest abortion rights measures in the U.S. The new law allows not just physicians, but also licensed healthcare providers to perform abortions. While others may be skeptical, fourth-year medical student Felice Williams has a different view.
Nobody else's body is politicized, and by nobody else I do mean men. Nobody is having these in-depth conversations about vasectomies. Politics is really not appropriate.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says the Reproductive Health Act codifies Roe v. Wade into state law, meaning it protects women's rights no matter what happens here in Washington. Now to another serious issue facing the Black community, heart disease. It's the leading cause of death in the U.S. and hits African Americans at higher rates.
In fact, 48% of Black women and 44% of Black men have some form of heart disease. And it hit close to home to former NBA star Shaquille O'Neal, who's urging Blacks to get in the game of prevention. Newsvision's Ashley Ferguson has the story.
Shaq is an amazing athlete, so to think that he would have a son that would have heart issues is not something that someone would think of.
About a year ago, Shaquille O'Neal's son, Sharif, revealed that he discovered he had a heart condition after playing for UCLA's basketball team. This year, Shaq has decided to launch an educational program called Shaquille Gets Real About Heart Failure.
I want everybody to just go consult their doctors, at least once a year, maybe even twice.
Although heart issues seen in the youth are often unpreventable or hereditary, cardiologists and doctors still urge young Black people to get checkups and get serious about heart failure prevention.
For everyone else, it's about doing things that give you a healthy lifestyle. So you're looking at things like very active lifestyles, because a very active lifestyle like competitive sports, competitive tennis, it really puts people in a really great place.
After learning about Shaq's son, Joseph Hawes, a senior student athlete at Howard University, started taking his heart health more seriously.
So just having heard stories of people who've had heart problems and always being aware that it's a possibility, I try to go to my trainer if I'm having a hard time breathing, I feel lightheaded, anything like that.
Dr. Deborah Williams, who is a cardiologist at Howard University Hospital, has made it her mission to help educate Black people about their heart health.
You should know about your own health, knowing what a normal blood pressure is. It's something that a lot of the churches are doing already, and I think it's going to help people an awful lot, is know the numbers.
Like Shaquille O'Neal and Dr. Williams said, the most important thing to do is to visit your doctor and get seen. For Newsvision, I'm Ashley Ferguson.
If you want to learn more about heart health, including events in your area and how to detect the warning signs, visit www.heart.com.
Now, Noni, nothing can ruin my morning more than these awful DC potholes.
I know, Bryce. They mess up my car every morning on the way in.
Well, coming up, potholes affect thousands of people's cars every year and cost even more in damages.
See what DC officials are doing to help solve that ongoing problem after the break.
Hey girl, what you doing?
Nothing much. Going down my Twitter feed. Howard has nothing going on anymore.
Howard University's Newsvision offers fast and easy access to news.
In New York City at Times Square.
If they don't align, they're going to be put to the bottom of the stack. Not only taking our community away from us, you're taking our culture away from us too.
Keeping you updated on all the latest in the DC area.
It's been a little bit over 3 weeks.
That personal connection, more than party connection, is what is going to make the difference in the next election.
Stay in the loop with stories from Howard University's Newsvision. You don't want to miss it.
I always say I can show you better than I can tell you.
Just have another vision.
Girl, Jess, have you heard of Newsvision?
No, never heard of Newsvision.
Well, check them out because they have the latest updates and news on campus and in DC.
I'll check them out. Bye.
Bye.
Most would agree that change and economic development are good for a community.
But when this development drives up costs and drives out residents, that's not good. It's called gentrification, and it's a major issue in the nation's capital. Newsvision's Camila Tom joins us now with more.
Thank you, Bryce and Noni. Washington, D.C. has been ranked first in having the highest intensity of gentrification than any other city in America. In Washington, D.C., more than 20,000 African-American residents were displaced from their homes by majority white newcomers. I joined a former resident who took time to take a stroll down memory lane by visiting his childhood home before he and his family were moved out.
Reed's Market, the corner store. Marie's Market, that was the gray house. The gray house right there, that was Marie's Market, man. You can get whatever you want for $1. You can walk out the store, man. You be like, real live, go outside, ask an old head that's posting on the block, and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You got $1 on, you could give you $1 real quick. Growing up in this house, you know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of hardship, but I saw a lot of good memories as well.
We'll keep you updated on the local neighborhood. I'm Camila Tom. Back to you, Bryce.
Thanks, Camila. Walking across the main campus of Howard, also known as the Yard, is a long-standing tradition.
Thousands of current students, faculty, and alumni see it as a sacred space, a special community.
But now the recent influx of new residents strolling the Yard with their pets has stirred up a lot of emotions and controversy. Newsvision's Kiera Burwell has more.
After a 2-week controversy of whether local residents in the area should be able to walk their dogs on Howard's campus, finally has come to a conclusion.
President of Howard University, Wayne Frederick, released a statement regarding the dog walking events. It stated that local residents aren't allowed to walk their dogs on Howard's campus anymore, and students are agreeing with the decision.
There should have been a statement made about it then to nip it in the bud, because those people coming made other people think that it was okay, and the fact that we didn't cut them off then made even more people think it was okay. So the problem just progressed and progressed and progressed. So I think it was definitely overdue. I think he kind of dropped the ball a little bit on that one, but at least he finally made the statement.
After the statement was released, students took to the yard to enjoy the great weather.
But I do agree with Mr. Frederick for him releasing a statement. I feel like that was very professional of him and the university to clear that up, because this is a private institution.
Yeah, and it's about time that President Frederick finally done something about it, because walking in the towers or CHS without my ID, all hell breaks loose. Or,
Don't forget that.
But they be picnicking and running around their dogs pooping over there and everything, stepping on my shoes and everything. I can't get with that. It's a private school. They got Banneker over there.
Us as students and the administration and the faculty, we feel as though this is our property, this is our home. You know, we go to school here every day, and I honestly feel like they should respect it as such as if it was their own. You know?
With Newsvision, I'm Kiara Burwell.
The issue of gentrification is an impactful one outside of Howard's campus. In 2011, the so-called Chocolate City became more mocha when the black population first fell below 50%. Another issue of gentrification hit close to home, just blocks away from campus at a popular T-Mobile store near Florida in 7th Street Northwest.
There you could hear the sounds of go-go music booming from the speakers. Go-go is a part of the heartbeat and history of DC. And for decades, it's been the signature sound of a popular Metro PCS business in the Shaw-Howard community. That is until some new residents, identified as gentrifiers, complained about the volume and the music stopped. After growing community backlash, the slogan "Don't Mute DC" was birthed, and days after, the music returned. Recreational marijuana is legal in 10 states and DC, and it's a booming business. According to Forbes magazine, customers in North America will spend $23 billion on cannabis by the year 2021. But when it comes to cashing in on cannabis, many question whether people of color are having a harder time breaking into the industry. I set out to find out.
I think that with the government selling it, they pretty much just took what we did, or what people as black people do, you know, making a business for themselves, a life for themselves, and they just put the government name on it.
Jaya is referring to the legalization of cannabis, an industry that is growing more and more each year. Jordan Alexander is an educator by day, but has hopes of putting down the chalk and owning a dispensary of his own in the future.
I'm here. There is no black dispensaries in this area. And that's the crazy part also, because I've grown up in this area. So to see like a dispensary on a main strip, Gaithersburg, Rockville, downtown Silver Spring, but none of them are black owned.
Initiative 71 was a Washington, D.C. voter-approved ballot initiative that legalized the recreational use of cannabis. But it still remains true that in the district, only medical dispensaries, like this one behind me, are legal. While owning a dispensary can have some of the same issues that starting any other business does, some aspiring dispensary owners of color don't know where to start.
I feel like they might, it's set against us not to own our own business, especially not in the weed business. And they might be stricter background checks, stricter everything just to get us. We have bigger obstacles more than white people to open up dispensaries.
Minorities only comprise 19% of dispensary owners. Included in that 19% are the owners of the U Smoke Shop in Northwest DC. Serving customers of all ages and colors, business is booming and their sales are on an upward trend, setting an example for other aspiring dispensary owners of color that it can be done. The conversation around cannabis continues as millions of African Americans are incarcerated on related offenses about drugs, while others are cashing out in big numbers.
Although the number of homeless people in the nation's capital has declined for the second year in a row, the number of homeless children is soaring. Newsvision's Sabrina Shangi joins us now for more about this issue.
Thank you, Bryce. According to the DC's point-and-turn count, close to 1,000 families are experiencing homelessness in DC. I talked to a college student who experienced homelessness with her mother during winter months. Here's her story.
It was so cold that night. I was shivering, and the amount of blankets that we tried to put on to cover out something not work. And at that point, I broke down.
University student Josephine, who wished to remain anonymous, faced the harsh reality of homelessness here in the nation's capital last year with her mother. While homelessness in general is a nationwide issue, most people fail to include the many youths that are included in such numbers.
We'll have a routine where we'll park in the Planet Fitness parking lot, put scarves and blankets and stuff to cover the windows so no one can peek in through. We'll sleep, and then my mom will say a prayer.
Just blocks away from the White House, the nation's capital is experiencing an influx in homelessness. But over 1,000 homeless youth are experiencing housing insecurity in D.C. According to the point-in-time count, a regional census of the homeless population, the number of homeless people soared in the beginning of 2018, calculating over 6,000 people. D.C. organizations like Sasha Bruce have made efforts to improve lives of homeless youth.
Our approach is competency-based. So many of the young people that come to us, they've been told they're bad, they're dumb, they're stupid, they're no good, and we reject that whole philosophy. We believe that young people have the competence and the strength to see their future and to move towards self-sufficiency.
If you are a youth in need or want to serve as a volunteer, visit sashabruce.org, or you can go to the Sasha Bruce Youth Work Drop-In Center in Southeast DC.
Each year, spring brings much welcomed warm weather and budding flowers, but also potholes. Newsvision's Kyra Azor has the latest on what DC is doing to combat them.
Potholes like this one on 6th and W have wreaked havoc on D.C. drivers over the last few months, sending many to auto repair shops. On Monday, Mayor Bowser announced this year's pothole repair campaign entitled Pothole Palooza.
To be honest with you, the pothole situation in D.C. is ridiculous.
D.C. drivers have been zigzagging and swerving to navigate streets to avoid potholes. Potholes are created by the expansion, then contraction of groundwater under the pavement. Last year's record rainfall has led to a record number of potholes this pothole season. DC's Department of Transportation plans to send out crews to patch up and fill in potholes, as they're reported by residents.
I do see the importance of Pothole Palooza, but even though they're just patching potholes now and not fully ripping up streets and repaving them, yeah, it is a temporary solution. But once it rains again or snows again, the potholes just come up, and then they're normally deeper than they were before. So it's a temporary fix, but something's better than nothing at this point.
22,000 potholes have been filled in the last 3 months in the district alone. We hope to see many more filled in the coming months. For Newsvision, I'm Kyra Azor. Back to you.
Up next, with the Me Too movement in full effect, women everywhere need to be protected from sexual assault.
See what one DMV organization says needs to be done to protect our Black girls. Newsvision is a premier source for campus, local, and national news. Located in the Cathy Hughes School of Communications on the campus of Howard University in the heart of Washington, D.C., Newsvision journalists embody excellence without excuse by covering groundbreaking stories throughout the nation's capital. Providing trustworthy and captivating information, the future journalists are redefining the future of storytelling. Newsvision is your top choice for high-quality news content. With the Me Too movement growing more and more each day, and with the release of the R. Kelly docuseries, there seems to be one group that is being left out of the conversation about protecting women, and that's young Black girls. I had the chance to speak with two women who are very passionate about this subject.
I was sexually assaulted while I was a student at Howard University.
During her freshman year, this student was sexually assaulted at a party. More than 20% of Black women are raped during their lifetimes, and in a society that tends to not take their words seriously, Black girls around the world are falling victim to assault and are afraid to come forward about it.
The drama that comes with coming forward in itself, and just because we, as Black women, you kind of get pushed to the side and people question you or they blame you and ask what you did to cause that to happen, and that's never the case.
Approximately 40% of Black women report coercive sexual assault before the age of 18. Many Black girls often have a hard time coming forward about sexual assault and things that have happened to them. I had the chance to speak with Veronica Ainga, founder of My Girlfriend's House, an organization that works to help girls build self-confidence, speak up for themselves, and defend themselves. She talked to me about this issue and what we can do to resolve it.
We need to put programs in place that encourage young girls to understand the strength of their voice.
Both women believe that education and simply believing young girls can help change the narrative.
But if we're constantly stigmatizing them and saying, oh, be quiet, sit down, you're not saying anything of value or importance, then what happens is she's so used to being told she's lying that when something really, really serious is going on, she's going to keep it to herself.
Education. Kids are taking sex ed classes in middle school and high school. A portion of that class needs to be about sexual assault and consent.
For more information on My Girlfriend's House and how to get involved, visit mygirlfriendshouse.com.
In 2018, Howard University generated $5 million in revenue from the athletic program. Some Howard University athletes are fed up and calling for the NCAA to allow colleges to pay players for their athletic contributions. Newsvision reporter Kaylin Cullifer has the story.
Athletes put in a lot more work than any of the students at the campus, and I just think they should get paid because, you know, they bring a lot of money, you know, to the university, you know.
Should athletes get paid? Sophomore Howard football receiver Jamichael Jones is one of the many HU student athletes who say it's time to pay up.
Outside of basketball, I really don't have time for a job because basketball takes up so much time. So I don't have any other way of getting money for food. Money is like really tight, so it's really tough.
While some Howard athletes think they should receive compensation, some HU students say they receive a free education to play their sport, and it's more than enough.
I'm continuously taking out money to help get through school, so I feel like with them being paid to do what they're supposed to do is completely absurd.
Our house student athletes should get paid because they bring resources to their school, whereas Howard, we really don't win as many games, so we don't really bring resources to the school. So I feel like our house schools be paid, except for Howard should.
According to Howard's 2017 official equity report, the program's total revenue amounted to $5 million, with football being the top generator and spender.
You know, the players never get any amount of the money. You know, all the money that they deserve goes to, like, new locker rooms, new football fields, new cleats, new helmets, new uniforms, all that stuff. So,
though some athletes feel as though the program does not support them, athletic director Carrie Davis says it's not true.
I think student athletes should be able to profit off their likeness. If I can have a value in, say, selling my jersey, I should be able to profit from that.
For Newsvision, I'm Kaylin Culliver.
With more than 400 athletes across 15 sports teams, there are only 36 full scholarships given to each athletic team. Howard athletes are hopeful that the university will recognize their financial need outside of sports. They'll just have to wait and see.
Thurgood Marshall was a champion for equal education rights, and now members of the community are working to sustain his legacy. Meet one Shiro in the Shaw neighborhood who has dedicated years of her life to continuing his legacy through service initiatives and advocacy. Newsvision's Sydney Williams has the story.
When I think of myself and who I am, I always think of being someone that has a handout to help someone, and to always have the attitude that you don't give up. You always move forward.
This mindset has guided Ms. Thomasina Yearwood through years of advocacy and service in the Washington, D.C. community. As president and CEO of the Thurgood Marshall Center Trust, her passion and resilience drive her commitment to uplifting underserved African Americans. The Thurgood Marshall Center, named after the first Black Supreme Court Justice, honors the achievements of civil rights leaders. For the past 18 years, Ms. Yearwood has used this space to continue a legacy of power and courage.
I see the need. We consider ourselves the cornerstone of the community for the next 100 years. So with that being said, we need to continue to assist in any way we can.
Ms. Yearwood has dedicated years of service to the local Washington, D.C. community, and now her hard work continues here at the Thurgood Marshall Center.
Her deeds at the center also include working closely with the Marshall family.
One of my most memorable moments working here is when I first met Mrs. Thurgood Marshall. I knew that when I started working here that I should connect with the Marshall family, since they were very, very supportive in having Thurgood's name on this building.
Her secret to success? Always follow your heart.
Know what's in your heart and what you believe in, and then it gives you a great beginning on choosing what is most important to you. And if you know what your heart tells you, I think you can be very successful.
For Newsvision, I'm Sydney Williams.
The Thurgood Marshall Center is housed in the historic 12th Street YMCA building and welcomes visitors and volunteers from all over. Coming up, Howard University celebrates its 152nd birthday this year.
Up next, we'll have a recap of the annual Charter Day convocation. Welcome to the Mecca, known for its rich history, its reputation for excellence, and its top 10 journalists. Stay tuned as Newsvision reporters bring you the latest in entertainment, crime, lifestyle, sports, politics, and community news. This is Newsvision, excellence without excuse. Every year, the Mecca comes together for its annual convocation. This year, Howard University celebrated its 152nd anniversary of its founding with its annual Charter Day convocation. Famous alumna Felicia Rashad was in attendance.
Clearly stated the dual mission of the Howard University as follows. Howard University.
I thought that everyone's talk was dynamic and right on point and easeful and personable, and I liked that. I enjoyed this Charter Day ceremony very, very much.
While the 81st convocation celebration was a success, we hope for many more to come in the future. Howard University hosted a compelling conversation with the U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi and political strategist and author Donna Brazile. The two engaged the Howard community on the importance of the youth vote and the Democrats' agenda for the 116th session of Congress. In an intimate one-hour conversation, Pelosi touched on the campaign finance reform and student debt, both of which are big-ticket items this election cycle.
The debt is bigger than credit card debt. So when they wanted to give a tax break of over $1 trillion to the richest people in America, we said, why don't we just eliminate the debt for higher education?
The Cathy Hughes School of Communication held a panel discussion entitled The Power of the Pen. The event, held in Crampton Auditorium, featured literary hard-hitters Jelani Cobb, Nicole Hannah-Jones, and Ta-Nehisi Coates. I had the chance to speak with Coates about his first piece of nonfiction he's writing and what compelled him to do so.
Editor, I always read fiction, I always loved fiction, but my editor, Chris Jackson, after I did my first book, The Beautiful Struggle, he was like, you really should try some fiction. And I did. It took a long time to get done. So I published other nonfiction in the meantime. But that book is actually older than Between the World and Me and older than We Were 8 Years in Power.
Shout out to our amazing alum. Can't wait to check out that new book. Howard University is known for providing top-tier job, internship, and fellowship opportunities to its students.
The annual Job and Internship Fair is a staple event in the School of Communications. Students and media companies from all over come to Howard to pursue exciting opportunities. Typically held on campus, this year's career fair took place at the Newseum in Washington, D.C.
NBC Universal, Fox News, Discovery, and Google were among the companies in attendance. Students left with new connections, great experiences, and valuable lessons in professional development.
For having surprise guests and celebrities to speak to students on campus. TV and film star Michael Ealy made a surprise visit to Howard University, where he spoke one-on-one with media, journalism, and film students, including our own Amber Tucker. Ely talked about his new film, The Intruder, with actress Megan Good. He says this film is different than any other intruder movie because it can happen to anyone. This film is scheduled to premiere in a theater near you on May 2nd.
Howard University alumni and Hollywood star Taraji P. Henson graduated in 1995 with a degree in fine arts. And as they say, the rest is history. She's been nominated for an Oscar and won a Golden Globe. Henson has several new movies out this year, one of them featuring the actress in her first starring comedic role. She and the film's director came to a special screening in downtown D.C. just for Howard University. Newsvision reporter Amber Tucker was there.
More than 200 Howard University students and alumni gathered for a special screening of the film What Men Want, starring Howard alumna Taraji P. Henson.
Can you hear my inner thoughts?
I can hear your inner thoughts. Howard definitely helped me develop a tough skin because when I studied there, it wasn't about how pretty you were or what color you were, how your hair, whatever. It just mattered your talent. It was about talent, and you would get replaced in front of all of your peers.
I really wanted to do the movie because Taraji was doing it and because I knew that she was going to be killer at comedy.
They greeted the audience before the film.
You know what to do. You know what to do tomorrow. Post. Let everybody know.
After the film, they had a candid conversation, moderated by Professor Jennifer Thomas, and discussed the movie's powerful message.
It's about you. What does not bring you joy is fame. What brings you joy is the work. And
for those in attendance, Henson's work made an impact.
She really did a great job with being hilarious and just really representing Black women who I think can really relate to that. Oh, I was going to spoil it, but essentially can really relate to being in a corporate setting with dominantly white men. So to have that and to see that was really inspirational for myself.
She does, and Taraji wanting to try comedy, it just gives us a different sense of the flavor that she has and how phenomenal she is for everything that she's worked for.
Didn't just entail like a woman's perspective, it also had some male perspectives to it. So it just wasn't all geared to women and what they wanted, because the name of the movie is what men want.
It will air in a theater near you on February 8th. With Howard University News Service, I am Amber Tucker.
It's been an exciting year for Henson. She's had several new movies, and in January was awarded her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Two celebrity Howard alumni, Lala Anthony and Lance Gross, came back to the Mecca and taught a master class to a group of fine arts students who aspire to one day be in their shoes. Newsvision's Ashley Ferguson joins us now with more on the story.
That's right, Noni. This open discussion was held in Fine Arts Building, an auditorium, which allowed for an open discussion and tons of questions. Check out the story. Lala Anthony and Lance Gross came back to their alma mater, Howard University, to introduce a brand new class to Howard University's communications and fine arts students.
It's actually beneficial, I feel like, because they bring their own past experiences and knowledge to help out the people here. So yeah, I would say they're actually doing their part to contribute back to the community and the school that actually helped them out.
Debbie Jarvis, the school's senior vice president of corporate relations, moderated the panel and gave the two Howard alum a chance to interact with the students.
Well, I found it very enlightening that two actors, notable as they would come back to their alma mater and speak to the students of tomorrow who are looking forward to going to the industry. So that was really cool of them.
For me, I just followed what I thought was the natural progression. You go from radio to TV to acting. So those were the steps I took. So whatever your natural progression is from.
Lance Gross, who has a recurring role on Fox's hit television show Star, shared his words of encouragement for Howard University students who have dreams of breaking into the entertainment industry.
Always trust your gut, believe in yourself, know that fear is false evidence appearing real, and you got this.
The panel for a joint masterclass between communication students and fine arts students presented by Lance Gross and Lala Anthony was a success. For Newsvision, I'm Ashley Ferguson.
The class of 2019 is approaching the long walk, the traditional path on the yard that symbolizes the moment the graduates are added to the legacy of the Mecca.
As they prepare to walk across that stage on May 11th, I asked a few seniors what advice they have for rising seniors as well as underclassmen.
When the class of 2019 entered this campus in 2015, none of us expected the time to fly by as quick as it did. From freshman week to senior week, we have worked long and hard to get to where we are. As we approach the end of our time here at Howard, I wanted to ask some of the seniors what advice they have for the incoming seniors.
Incoming seniors, I would definitely say, one, enjoy your junior year, especially at Howard. It can be very stressful. You attempt to jump and do certain things ahead of time. Granted, you do have to be prepared, or you should be prepared. Enjoy it. You're going to look up in a few months and you're going to look back on your time at Howard holistically. And it's better to start enjoying that time, that space now, than rushing until you get to your last few months of senior year.
First of all, congratulations. You've made it to senior year. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this. My advice would be to stay organized. On top of classes, homework, extracurricular activities, you're going to now be looking for full-time jobs or graduate school opportunities. So stay organized and make sure you prioritize fun.
On top of advice for incoming seniors, both graduating seniors also have some advice for underclassmen as they matriculate through the Mecca.
My major advice would be to get your hard work done first, get your classes all done freshman and sophomore year so your senior year could be easy and breezy.
Get to know this new space and this new environment. Thankfully, we were blessed to be at Howard during a very transitional time, so our concept of what Howard is changed a lot while we were here. Get that concept, listen to alum, as well as gauging incoming freshmen and be the best student you can be and create the Howard experience for what you have. You only have 4 years unless you take more, and that's okay if you do.
From parties in the Valley to the yard where we will be making our final walk in the next few weeks. The class of 2019 has made so many amazing memories over our time at Howard, and I cannot wait to see our class go into the real world and do such amazing things. For Newsvision from Howard University, I'm Bryce Newby.
Congrats to all of our graduating seniors for making it to the end. I can't wait to see everything you all do. Well, Noni girl, it is finally over after a very, 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 very long semester.
It has been long, but we made it, and we're here. Thank you all for joining us in our final newscast. We hope you've learned something new and feel well informed.
We would like to thank, most importantly, our professor, Jennifer Thomas, for giving us the necessary tools and resources to make this happen, for working with us day and night to complete this course and this broadcast.
We'd like to thank the Howard University Cathy Hughes School of Communications and MJFC faculty for grooming us for this moment.
And finally, everyone in our amazing Top 10 class who took part in this newscast, from producer to director to cameras to teleprompter.
Well, one more time, congratulations to the class of 2019. Good night and have a wonderful summer.